So now I'm gonna make the bow for this pea, and I'm gonna make the white bow, which is the one that in the picture goes on the top of this pea's head. So first things first is making sure you have your pea oriented correctly. If you haven't yet put the blush in, the way that you know which side is the top of the pea is by counting how many rounds it takes to get to where the eyes are inserted, because you know that the eyes are between rounds 4 and 5. So just count 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is right side up. So remember that orientation. Now we're gonna cut an arm's length of white yarn. And when you make the black bow, it's exactly the same process, just with black yarn. So drape the yarn over your index and middle finger. Hold on to it with your thumb and your ring finger. And you're gonna have the yarn tail in front of your hand, in front of your palm, and then the rest of it behind your hand. And now you're gonna wrap it around 3 times. So that was 1, 2, and then here's 3. So now, oops. So now I'm gonna take it off of my hand and hold on to the middle of it, or slightly off to the middle of it, because I want to wrap the yarn tail around the actual middle of these loops a total of 3 times or more. If you think it looks better with more, go for it. I recommend at least 3 times to make sure it's pretty secure. And there should be 3 loops on either side of this bow right now to make sure it looks symmetrical. And when you're happy with how it looks, just feel free to pull on these loops so they are as big and as small as you want them to be. When you're happy with that, you're going to carefully tie a knot using these 2 yarn tails. Yep. All right, there we go. Readjusting my bow. I'm going to tie 1 more knot for good measure. Now to attach it onto the pea, I'm going to thread a tapestry needle. Make sure that I'm looking at the pea with the right side up. And I know which side is the right side up because I know that the eyes are between rounds 4 and 5, which means if I count from the very top, I should hit the round that the eyes are inserted into when I get to round 4. So here's the end of round 1. End of round 2, 3, and 4. This is the right side up. Also, if you have put the blush on your pea already, the blush goes under the eyes. All right, so I know that I'm holding my pea correctly, and let's say I want to put the bow over here. You can put it anywhere you like. I like it a little off center. So now I'm gonna rotate my piece and then see where the yarn tail lines up on the pea's body. And I'm gonna put my needle into the pea's body there and then go around 1 stitch and pull it tight. Then I'm gonna put the needle back through the center of this bow into that meaty part that I just wrapped and knotted. I just wrapped. And then I'm going to put my needle back into the bow, not in exactly the same spot, but somewhere pretty close to minimize the chance that this yarn is going to get seen. And if you're like me and wrap that really tight, you're going to have to wiggle around a bit to push the needle through. I'm going to put the needle back into the pea in the same spot that I originally had put the needle into the pea, and then out some other side of it. And that should secure this bow to the pea where I want it.